Hello, everyone. This is Susan Gerbic from Psychics Explained. Welcome to 2025 and the year of extremes. According to James von Praagh and psychic medium or psychic astrologer Kellee White, those are two that partner up together, usually in December, maybe other times of the year. I'm not really sure, but in December, they get together and they do a prediction for the upcoming year. And this is the 2025 predictions James von Praagh and Kellee White made. Now, sometimes you think that predictions would be something very specific, something that could be checked later on. There's not a lot of that in this video, so I'm not going to show you the video. I'm just going to give you some rundowns to it. You can look at the video yourself. I'll put the link in the description if you really want to watch it. I made a lot of notes and a lot of quotes, and I will be probably writing this up for Skeptical Inquirer, which is where I usually publish. So Kellee, I didn't know who she was before, but she is a astrologer, and a lot of what her predictions are related around stars, moons, whatever astronomical things that are happening, eclipses. She really seems to like eclipses. And she puts on her astronomy lens, she calls it. So she's James on Prague says, we are souls having an experience. These are things that can happen, and they're not carved in stone necessarily. These are just some insights that we have. And he just says he doesn't want to stay glued to that because things can change. We all have free choice and free will. So it's what he senses at that practical moment, and that's how he works. That's what he says. So I'm not really sure what good that is. If what they're saying or they're predicting, how can you use that in your life if what they're saying could change at any time, depend on free will, choice, possibly it's not really giving you a lot to go with, right? So I don't know why you would want to have kick in and listen to their videos when you could just talk to your friend and say, hey, what do you think is going to happen in 2025? What do you think is going to happen with this climate change? What do you think we're going to be able to do? What do you think's going on with the election? I mean, it's just as vague. You're making assumptions based on the thing your experiences in life and what you read in the media and what your other friends are saying. So that's not whatever. So it gets down to some things that they say that are really factual, things that could possibly be checked. Now I'm recording this on the 17th of January, 2025. So we're not very far into 2025, but they recorded this in late December or mid-December 2024. So, I'm going to just go on record here and say some of the things they said, and let's see if any of this comes true. Maybe we can revisit it if you guys are interested. Please leave me your comments, by the way. I find them very interesting. They make me get a lot of insight and ideas about if this is the kind of thing you like. You're just the community that's here is gives a lot of really great information. So one of the things that Kellee says is that 2025 is a 9 year for the world. And apparently that means 9 year is, if you add up the digits in 2025, it comes out to nine. So I don't get it. And 2024 was an 8 year, which had a lot to do with infinity and so on. So 2025 is a monumental year for change. It's a year of extremes. And 2024 was ruled by Saturn, which made it pretty chaotic and brought a lot of strength to everybody. So nines are ruled by Mars. It's a time to let go of the old structures that have restricted you and embrace change. So Van Praagh says that there's going to be a lot of water related issues in 2025. Okay. I'm really interested in if he said anything about the wildfires because he lived in Escondido, which is down kind of by San Diego. So he's not in the wildfire area of the LA area. Those of you who don't know, California is a huge state. I'm very north, like many hours north of Southern California. And I got a lot of people who would ask if I was safe and so on. You're like, yeah. Anyway, so his house is just I noticed it was on sale. Trying to sell his home for 4.7 million. So I guess this pays well. All right. So I was very interested if he was going to say anything about the wildfires because, of course, this is December of 24 when he's recording this with Kellee. So January 20th is inauguration day, and that's coming up in a couple days from where I am. I'm recording this on the 17th of 2025 of January. And they say it's a very powerful day. No kidding. They said there's going to be a lot of upheaval, and it's not going to be an easy transition. So whatever that means, that could be very vague, not easy. Maybe it'll be something we'll know in the media. Maybe it'll be something that we're just supposed to infer. Not easy, meaning lots of things. First 3 months will be a lot of change. There will be violence, some violence. And then he says fire and smoke in January in DC. So kind of on the other side of the country. And he was talking more about the context was more about violence and upheaval in Washington, D.C., associated around the inauguration. Groups are coming together for the betterment of humankind, like we are the world kind of thing. And that might be, I mean, I did see something that celebrities are coming together to do something for the wildfires. And, that's kind of predictable when there's a giant disaster of this sort. But he doesn't really say what it's for. And again, what good is a psychic prediction if we don't have any kind of way of being specific about it so we can check if it's right or wrong or be able to use that information they're giving us to guide our lives, to make decisions that are meaningful, like to avoid a certain area at a certain time or to plan a vacation at a certain time because of these reasons or to invest in certain kinds of stocks. I mean, what good is it to have a psychic advise you if it's so vague that it doesn't really give you any information? All right. So in January, according to Von Praagh and Kellee, books are going to be immediate classics. Masterpieces are going to be created with AI. Trump will stay where he is, but there will be instability, not stable or solid in February, March, whatever that means. They do a lot of agreeing with each other, and I'll show you a little clip just to get a flavor of what it's like to see Kellee and Von Praagh talk to each other and agree with each other. So let me show you this very short clip of them doing their little thing together. I think it's quite interesting.
At 29 degrees again, James. There's that 29 degrees. So that's a big day. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I just really upheaval is what I get. Upheaval. I feel that things won't go smoothly with transfer of power. I just think there'll be some upheaval. I don't know what that means. I don't think it'll be an easy transition. I just don't think so. I don't know if that's what I feel. I don't think it'll be a normal transition of that. I just that's what I get.
Yeah, it somehow it brings miscommunication on that day. There's a lot of miscommunication that goes on during that period.
I get a sense also between then, the first probably 3 months of the new administration, there's changes like crazy, like moving this cabinet member, that cabinet, changing very quickly, surprisingly quickly. I also think there'll be some violence done. I do, whether it's assassination or I think there'll be some kind of violence. I think there'll definitely be something there. I keep on seeing smoke. I do. I see fires and smoke around in January, month of January to the end of January. Can't tell you what it's about, but I know it looks like it's in DC. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What
So he can't tell us what it's about, but it looks like it's going to be in DC. So obviously he's talking about the inauguration and things happening around that area, instability, lots and lots of change. Well, we got a new administration coming in, so there's going to be a lot of change. So Kellee does seem to like eclipses. She's really into um, astrology and planets and so on. And she thinks that eclipses are so important that they'll tell us what the year is like. It's going to be about great change because eclipses are there. It means nothing. James von Praagh says icebergs are going to change drastically. Polar caps and land masses change from flooding, a lot of rain, extreme water conditions. Where? When? How can we help protect ourselves from this great problem? James von Praagh. Kellee says there's going to be a war on the seas because of Pisces. Very helpful. Then they talk about the drones, and this is what's been going on in New Jersey. Now, it's middle of January right now, and things are kind of starting to die down. We'll see if they actually do or not. A lot of people in the skeptic community have done a lot of different content on what's going on with these drones. It looks like it's some sort of contagion, mainly by the media reporting things and getting people freaked out. It has people going outside looking at outside without having any context of what they're able to see, what they're actually seeing. And then because they've been primed that it's going to be some kind of drone or a vessel or something. Sorry, I get a cough every time I get in front of this camera. So it's a cough drop that I'm having right now. I'm sorry if it seems rude. I'm sucking on a piece of candy. It's a cough drop. Otherwise, I just keep having coughs. So James von Praagh says that it's the drones, they're going to increase. There's technology there. I think our government does know what's going on there. I think it's going to be a preamble to some wartime possibilities. I do think it's a foreign country. I don't know about that. It could be, not sure. It could be our country preparing for something. They're not mentioning it, so I have a feeling they're using it as cover for something that might happen, Star Wars or something like that. Does that make any sense? The government didn't know what they were going to say, so that's why the government is keeping quiet about it. And Kellee all along is just sitting there agreeing to everything, so it's quite interesting. In March, there's going to be breakthroughs in medicine or health, AI in medicine, new medicines, a cancer thing different than how it has been done. There's always changes in cancer research and cancer care and cancer treatment. The economy, extremes, highs and lows, and very little in the middle. That's not helpful at all either. More companies getting caught for doing illegal things. Oh, if only that was true. Possibility of creating a new kind of currency like a Bitcoin coming from another company from overseas. Financial hackers careful of online credit cards. Lots of fakery with AI might start wars. Different countries coming together that you would not expect to help out with humanity, considering that we're in the crises right now with Ukraine, Russia, the Middle East, Israel, Gaza, Lebanon. I think that's pretty likely, and lots of other places around the world. There's going to be change in borders around the Middle East and a strange sense of calmness. Well, right now we are experiencing a ceasefire, from what I understand. There's going to be assassination attempts on, and she doesn't finish. And I listened to this many times. This is something Kellee says. She says assassination attempts on, and I looked at the transcripts to see if we could see what it was she said. It just doesn't say. It just, he talks over her and you can't see what it is she says. And I had a friend listen. I said, what is it that she's saying right here? No idea. So that's kind of how it is. There's going to be assassination attempts on. That's not helpful at all if we don't know who it is, when it is, what it is, where should the threat come from. There's going to be changes in pharmaceutical companies. There's going to be children prodigies. Children on spectrum will be embraced. Toxins in water, big explosions off the coast in New Jersey. Something about the news in Nebraska is going to be very, very big. He doesn't know what it's going to be happening in Nebraska, but it's going to be this very big story that's going to be happening in Nebraska in 2025. Kellee says there's going to be earthquakes, big earthquakes in June and July. And Von Praagh says it's going to be Indonesia or Africa. Indonesia has a lot of earthquakes, you guys. It's right there on the rim where there's a lot of movement in the tectonic plates. So in my other video that I made about Kellee and James Von Pragh's predictions for 24, I looked at their predictions they did for 2024. She mentions that there was going to be a huge earthquake in California around the 20th of January. I mean, 20th of August. Huge earthquake. Did not happen. Not on August 20th or any time in 2024 in California. Yeah, we have earthquakes all the time, but big earthquakes? No, nothing. There was one off the coast of California, but it was out into the ocean, so it didn't really do any damage. So, I mean, it depends on how you interpret that. So, no mention that the fact that she said there was going to be an earthquake in 2024. Nope, no mention of that. Hey, here's breaking news. Europe will be extremely hot. There's gonna be lots of deaths because of the heat. No kidding. The earth is warming and we're seeing more and more deaths. Europe is extremely hot, especially in the summer. And in mid 2026, life will get easier. Well, that's 2026, so who knows what to say. So that's pretty much it for 2025. So those are your things to look for. I wanted to just point out something, and okay, this is very catty. Let me know if I'm being catty. I'm going to show you this picture of Von Praagh again. Now look at this image of Von Praagh. Are those funeral urns behind him? Is he really gotten to the point where he's talking to the dead so often that he has funeral urns behind him? Because that's what it looks like to me, is funeral urns. That's all I saw. And I was looking behind him. I was good, dude, that's not a good look. So this guy's got a house for 4.7 million that he's trying to sell. It's a beautiful house. Oh my gosh. Should I show it to you? Hey, look at this. So hopefully a bunch of ads doesn't pop up while I'm looking at this. But he's in Encinitas. I might have said Atascadero. It's Encinitas. Mediterranean-inspired home surrounded by 8 different garden experiences. It's a 2-acre spread. This is in July 23rd, 2024. The Rob report. He wants 4.7 million. According to another video that I watched, it said that he had just gotten divorced. So maybe that's why he's selling his property. Bad memories. Oh, look at the little unicorn floating in the swimming pool. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Absolutely incredibly beautiful. Look at that. Wow. Oh my gosh, I could live there. And look, I don't take naps. I'm not a nap taker. But there's a huge bed. It looks so comfortable with mosquito netting around the outside and this beautiful forest outside. Oh man. Here's his home. It's down way south of where the wildfires have been happening, so he should be okay, unless, of course, another fire comes and he doesn't know anything about it because he's not psychic. Anyway, beautiful home, 4.7. Seems like that's a bargain because 4.7, my gosh, you can't practically buy a house in California for under $1 million nowadays. So 4.7 for 2 acres, something as beautiful as that. So I guess he's doing well. You know, psychic stuff sells. Apparently, with the information that I know and I guess I can't do it now, but if I had just learned all I know about psychics and grief vampires and just had no conscience whatsoever, I probably could have done this myself and I would be living in a $4.7 million home and that beautiful. So I wanted to mention that he started off his 2025 predictions with telling everybody he's having a sale in his workshops and his classes. I thought that was kind of, yeah. Dude, you're living in a $4.7 million home and you're trying to sell your classes. Okay. So I thought that was kind of tacky, but whatever. And also that they just keep agreeing with each other. I thought that was very strange because I guess if you're both supposed to be psychic and you're trying to say one person's psychic and so of course you're psychic, then I guess you would have to agree. The prediction, the video that I watched, it was uploaded on December 16th, 2024, and I will put it in the description under this. It had 135,000 views. And that's really kind of not a lot of views when you consider that this is supposed to be great wisdom. And James Praagh is very famous as far as the psychic world. People have known him. He's been around for 40, 50 years, something like that, doing these readings. So I find it very sad that he's having to resort to doing these Zoom readings with predictions with with urns behind him. And you know, so I hope you like this. We can revisit it if you like in in the beginning of 2026 and see how they did, but I didn't see a lot of predictions. It's interesting to look at what happens so that you can envision what really will happen in 2025 and then take a look back and say, shouldn't the psychic have known these things? Not just the wildfires, but all these other things that are going to happen that we don't even know about right now. So if you want to leave me comments, I appreciate that. I'm going to leave you with this last little outtake from one of the most amazing shows ever made in the entire world. Absolutely fabulous. And when I saw James Van Praagh and Kellee White do their little thing, I thought of this magazine that Patsy worked for, a fashion magazine, and the little skit they did. So I hope you enjoy that.
Right, beauty, and make it quick. She's fabulous, and she puts you in perspective, darling.
Clarins, Shiseido, Bloom Picasso, Chanel, makeup, generally, faces, eyes, lips, nostrils, it's all off the top of my head. Douching with mint is a thought. 10 tips on tropical toenails. I'm thinking natural, zing. Moist is my word du jour. Lovely, wet, moist, dropless, lusciousness. I see sun, sand, water, beach. Photo shoot-wise, I'm looking at 2 weeks in the Caribbean. Skin is in. Or, of course, the usual. Try to look more beautiful if you want to have more sex.
Very good. Chuck us that wrinkle cream, will ya?